Happy holidays, Kingwood businesswomen. I am here with Paula Tobey, and she is the coach of Phenomenal Women, and we're just so excited to be able to share some amazing shares that she has with us. She's going to talk to us a little bit more about how to keep it cool, how to keep your mindset right during the holidays. And really, we're just super excited because we know that as businesswomen, this is going to be key to helping you stay balanced with your work life and your whole family life and your mindset. So Paula, tell us a little bit more about what you do and tell us more about Phenomenal Women.
Sure. My name is Paula, like Krista said, and I am a life and health coach. And I work with female entrepreneurs who are trying to juggle it all, balancing life and a business, and finding it sometimes a little bit tricky. I'm a former teacher and a former parent coach, and I tend to work with a lot of women that have kids that have issues sometimes. And a lot of times those women need a little extra love. TLC, yes. Yeah, if you're having any kind of issue like that, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so my favorite thing is to help support women and help them look at all of the areas of their life and try to figure out the best way to improve with baby steps the areas that they feel like they're struggling in the most.
Oh, that's wonderful. What kind of practices and methods do you use in Phenomenal Women?
Yeah, so the Phenomenal Woman is a mastermind for entrepreneurs, and we go through essentially starting with a wheel of life. Most life coaches use something like this, and it's a tool to help you evaluate all the different areas of your life. And when you can kind of put a number on it and figure out how well you think you're doing or where you want to be, it's easier to figure out where to go next. And so we use that as a basis. And then from there, I mean, we work toward finding a harmony for work and life balance with that tool. And numerous other things, obviously, but that's a foundational key to it.
I love it. I want to know more because I find that this is the most joyful time, but can also be the most stressful time. Not only for me and my business, it's in marketing. The marketing budget's kind of dwindled out, and so it can be like, okay, well, it's waiting to the finishing line to the new year, and creating that focus back on family, focus back on myself, focus back on my mindset, and so I'm super excited to really open up and talk about all these methods that you have going on, these tips for us to get through the holidays, get us into the new year, get us ready to level up in the new year, and so let's go ahead and talk about that. So. With a phenomenal life, what does that look like for a woman that's an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so like I said, it's essentially being able to balance with baby steps. And when we think of our whole life, often you can probably think back to an area where at some point you probably neglected yourself or your family or your business, right? Because you're trying to juggle everything.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty.
and then we spend so much time in that one area. And then the other areas start to fall out of balance.
Totally.
And so what this does is teaches you to do a little bit with baby steps of all the areas. So you're not over, spending time in one, overextend, and then neglecting others. So it is learning to balance, but it's really simple because it's baby steps.
Right.
So,
no, I love that because, and for me, personality-wise, I want to go in and I want to do it all in one go and fix that little thing. But really, it's taking little bites of the elephant.
Yes.
That helps to make it all part of your habits, right?
Exactly.
So one of those habits is physical wellness.
Yes.
And that's something that you highly recommend in your program as well. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So physical health is a huge element to everything that we do, as you know. If you don't have a physical life that is healthy, every other area suffers. And so what I love helping women to understand is the key things to physical wellness is sleep, water, nutrition, exercise.
Right.
Those 4 things. If you're hitting each of those things, then you're going to be much more successful in those different areas. And so as long as you can, focus on little bits, a little bit more sleep, a little bit more water, right? A few more greens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the little things like that, it goes a long way.
Yeah, no, I like that. I've got the water. I need to work on that exercise. I did eat a little bit better yesterday at Chick-fil-A, and I got the lettuce chicken wrap thingy instead of just getting the spicy chicken sandwich. That's definitely something I need to work on. So, but sleep, that's been something I've been working on. I do need some help with it. So there's some ZQL involved.
Oh yeah,
and a whole sleep regimen that goes with it. Is that something you highly recommend?
Definitely, yeah. And things like magnesium, or there's lots out there, but as women age, we start to realize the trickiness in that, in falling asleep, staying asleep. But it's finding things that work for you.
Right. So I love that, and there's just a core foundation with wellness there.
It is. Yeah.
And when we're talking about wellness, there's also the emotional wellness.
That's right. Yes, emotional health. It's our mental health, and when we are always neglecting our own selves and putting ourselves last, that's when, at some point, mom snaps, right? On accident or not unknowingly, right? It happens, and the best thing that we can do is focus on ourselves for just a little bit.
Right.
So if you have a long to-do list, getting out the Christmas cards or decorating or whatever that looks like, take at least 15 minutes for yourself, maybe in the midst of that, right? Take a little break, check out, go into your bathroom. A lot of women love to do the tub, in the evening to wind down, something like that. Yeah. It really, really helps to help you just concentrate on yourself.
Yeah. So I love that. I love the tub. I also love to do face masks. And so I'll do face masks and use my Christmas cards over there, but I did that while I was doing my Christmas cards, and I didn't do all 169 of them. I did just 35 today. 35 tomorrow.
Perfect. That's baby steps. You got it.
Instead of freaking out about the whole thing. So that tends to be my bad habit.
Yeah.
So, but yes, Christmas can be a stressful time. I just really want to enjoy it. Visualization. How do you, when it comes to emotional wellness, what are some things that you recommend to help with visualizing, like journaling and...
Yeah, actually just spelling it out. What is it that you're looking for? What do you desire? Like, a lot of women say peace. It gets so crazy, and there's all that noise, right? In the back of your head. Yeah. And just having a quiet moment, and, playing some music or turning on the fireplace or something simple like that can go a long, long way.
I do love that. And about the holidays, emotional and mental well-being, all about boundaries.
Oh yeah, boundaries can be really tricky, especially because women, we feel like we have to do it all.
Yes.
And I have found the more we can delegate and or change our expectations, the better. So this year, I allowed my daughter to do the letter. Like I always do an update, like a paragraph with a few sentences about each person. I used to do it typed out on now it's on the back of the card.
That's what I did. A high five.
Yes. But I allowed my daughter to do it, and she was happy to do it, and I was just like, okay, delegate, task, check. And it felt great. It felt great to be able to take that off of my shoulders, right, that weight, and allow her to start taking over. So,
I love it. I think part of it is also in parenting as a mother, the way we do things. We tend to try to be very Martha Stewart-y, and we have to do all the things. We have to say all the things.
Yeah.
And then we realize that it doesn't all have to be done in one go. We realize that it doesn't have to be done perfectly. It doesn't have to be done always by us.
That's right.
There's a ChatGPT now.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely. Yeah. I named mine Kathy. She's my best friend.
I need to name mine something I like, because right now I just keep dehumanizing it. But I will get there. All right, so we were just talking about emotional wellness. What are some of what we can do, something we can do during this downtime when we have the children at home, we have maybe family coming in, but we can't forget ourselves. We can't forget that we have to keep learning through this whole process. What are some educational pieces that we can do?
Yeah, so our educational wellness is paramount for us as business owners and for entrepreneurs. and especially even for women in general, just so we're modeling for our family how important it is to always be learning, right? And one of the things I love doing is taking advantage of the downtime when the kids are home. When my girls were young, I did a lot of, reading of Christmas books and all the extra stuff, right? And then when they got a little bit older and we were a little bit busier, then I would take my time for myself and I would read more of the books that I enjoy reading. And I would allow myself to read nonfiction, like stuff fiction. Sorry, fiction is fake. Yes, fiction. I would allow myself to read fiction.
Fiction is fake. Yeah. Nonfiction is real. Not fake.
Yeah, exactly. Not fake. Yes, real. That's what I usually read during the course of the year. Right. I try to read business development, personal development, that kind of stuff. But in the holidays, I will absolutely go to my favorite and just, it's the crime stuff for me.
I don't blame you. I love the crime stuff. Even if it's like a podcast, I'm on the crime junkie there. Yes, definitely. What about attending workshops? What are some things that during this holiday season we can do? Maybe we can't attend in person, but we also have so many things that we can do virtually now. Thank you. Love it. Right? Yeah. So does Phenomenal Woman have virtual?
We absolutely do, yes. So we are a hybrid model in that we offer everything virtually, but then we also have in-person meetups. And so what is great about that is it gives people the opportunity to learn and grow, dig into each other's businesses and help support one another, brainstorming, all that stuff. And that's done virtually. Mm-hmm. And then the meetups are like, retreats or workshops or things like that in person that can help people who are more local to attend things and get to know the other women in the group. And we support each other that way. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
What I love about hearing that is that, and the same for Kingwood Businesswoman, it's really about not being alone on the journey. Because it can be so difficult. I remember starting out as a young entrepreneur. I was 18, 19 when I started my business. And I was just like with horse blinders on, just kept it on until I realized I've been doing this by myself. And the burnout was real and it was hard. And it really came as a detriment to myself and my family. And so I highly recommend, finding your support, finding that group of women that you can make those connections with and understanding. Because not every woman is the same, but at least we have that thread that binds us together. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have emotional wellness, physical health, wellness, education. Yeah. The big one, the big enchilada, financial wellness.
Financial is obviously paramount, and in the parent's life, they have to, for their family, balance that making money element. Mm-hmm. And as business owners, we have to prioritize that in our lives as well. And if you're not there yet, believe me, I understand. It's tricky when things change over time and your priorities change over time, right? Maybe you're kind of working in your business part-time because you have a family and you're very busy, or you have a husband that's gone all the time and everything falls on you. Mm. And so we have to be willing and able to adjust accordingly, right? I mean, we kind of have no choice. But once we get going and we get that support that we need, we have the ability to really then focus and think. And I believe that that's why masterminds are really great, and that they help people to work through things, right? Yes. You use your community and you're like, help me brainstorm. How can I make more money this weekend or whatever, right? And then it's idea generation and it's bam, bam, bam. And that feeling to a woman who is essentially used to doing things on her own in her business is such an amazing feeling, right? Having that support network like we discussed. Mm-hmm. One of the foundational things I have found for women in community is to use that support network and rely upon each other and build each other up, and then we go further. Then we actually get to that next level and can make more money, right? Because we've opened up that pathway.
Right. I like that. With a mastermind, you're able to kind of
take the layers
apart.
Yeah.
And then you're able to create a strategy from where you want, from point A to point B, which is so important. Some of the tips that you include are creating budgets so that you can make sure that you aren't overspending and creating that stress in your life.
That's right.
And then also something about gratitude.
Yeah.
Tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, so in our spiritual wellness, having gratitude really gets us so much farther in life. And really what it is all about is the having the understanding of community as a whole and thinking outside of yourself and for others. And the easiest and fastest way to do that is a gratitude journal and just writing down 3 things each day that you're grateful for. And even if you're finding yourself in a really negative place, it can help get you out of that. Finding things, even if it's, I'm thankful my child did not have a temper tantrum today. Right? Like, it's the little things, but the more you focus on that, the bigger you have, like the more options you have, because you're coming at a place of rest, spiritual. Right? Like, you're able to receive better because you're at that place. You're not in that angst or that stress mode.
Agreed. I feel like sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, negative thoughts can come into your mind. And it's so important to replace those thoughts with your gratitude. And gratitude is something I learned later on. I was really not really understanding all these concepts. And it wasn't until I got to a really dark place. This is, it happens a couple times a year for me, especially during the summer when all the kids are home. I love my kids, but it has nothing to do with that. But it's just the overwhelming of all the activities.
Everyone's there, and
where you're used to as a working mother to have this time around your head school. And But I absolutely love that the gratitude piece, and I do have a gratitude journal. I love it to death. Does Phenomenal Woman, or is that something that y'all work on in?
Yes, it is. Okay. Yes, it is. Yeah, the 5 things that we always focus on. Yes, and that's our physical, our educational, our financial, our spiritual, all of that stuff. And when we do that, our life is more balanced. And my journey, my aha moment was having the awareness that all of those things matter and to stop neglecting the one or the 2, right? And when you start focusing on them just little bits, all of a sudden your life then can become phenomenal. That's what it's all about.
I love that. Something about the spiritual side of this, there's a side where we also have to give back, and I know there's a cause that's really important to you. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So, in 2017, we lost my mom to pancreatic cancer, and ever since then, I have been doing small things. I used to do just birthday fundraisers and things like that, and then I looked up and realized that there was a local Houston chapter. And I started volunteering with them and have found an amazing group of women. Everyone connected to them has lost a loved one to pancreatic cancer. But for me, what that meant was kind of the educational side, and especially the educational health, is to help other people understand the risks. Because believe it or not, it's something that is so easily overlooked. Doctors miss it until it's too late. And so many people are diagnosed, like my mom, at stage 4, and it was just too late. And it's because they're random, kind of irrelevant kind of things that they go on, back pain and depression and things that don't seem to be related. Right. But then when you look at the whole picture, there it is. Yeah. And so anyway, my favorite thing though is to help. And I'm on a committee to do a 5K in April. Wow. And so I'm super excited. It's going to be really great. This year we're moving it to the Woodlands, so it's not too far. So if any of you are interested in joining me, I would love to have you. And even if you aren't a 5K kind of person, that is okay. We accept donations.
And walkers.
Yeah.
And donations, lots of donations.
All the things.
Yes, I love that. And what's the name of that organization?
So it's Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, but the actual walk is called Purple Stride.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
We'll have a QR code here on the screen here for everyone to donation if they choose to. Yes, I love that. All right, so this is not meant to be done alone.
No, it is not. No.
And I love that you make that a core part of your message with especially your audience and also the women in Phenomenal Women Mastermind. So what are some things that you would like for women today to take away, remember, visualize?
Absolutely.
From here.
Yeah, so really just see what it is that you're needing the most in your life, that support network or those friendships, or maybe it's someone to bounce ideas off of, or maybe it's someone to hold you accountable with your finances, right? You're like, my books are driving me crazy. I don't know where. Could you look at this for me, right?
Yes.
And using each other is
asking for help.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
I have a big problem with asking for help.
Asking for help.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the best thing that we can do is to be open and receive,
Yes.
right? And so when people give us ideas and suggestions, we take that. We don't have to do it.
Yeah.
We just say, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing.
I love it.
Right?
But there's also pieces where I've learned how to hint that I need help. Hint. And then I will listen and take pieces of those
Yes.
pieces. Maybe it's not exactly the way I would do it.
Right.
Maybe there's a piece that I would add another layer to it.
Sure.
So it is really important to open yourself to and be receptive.
Yeah.
To those acknowledge the advice
Mhm.
and really just take it as a piece that you're actually giving someone else the availability, a gift too, by allowing them to be a part of your stuff.
Yeah, your growth and your learning.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And then when we're here to support each other,
Mhm.
we all grow collectively. And when that happens, there is no stopping us phenomenal women.
Right. So I love that. I love that. In Phenomenal Women, there's a story about a woman named Jane that you told me about.
Yeah.
I'd love for everyone to learn about that. Can you tell me a little bit about her experience?
Yeah, so I was at a conference and I met Jane, and she was just explaining how tired she was, how frustrated she was in her business, and she was ready to quit. I mean, she was at her wit's end. And she felt like she was spending money on things that she wasn't sure she needed, and she didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And likewise, in her own personal life, she was tired and she was exhausted, went to the doctor, ran all the tests, did all the things, and everything was inconclusive. So there was really nothing pointing to a certain thing. And when she's in the process of telling me all of this, I realized I could tell her voice shifted from being so, depressed sounding to a little bit more relieved, a little bit
Hopeful.
Yes, the hopefulness.
Yeah.
And just her getting all of that off her chest, she made a huge realization. And so I noticed in that moment, she probably could benefit from the mastermind. And so I invited her. And after 3 months of working with Jane in our group, she literally made a huge transformation because she started putting all of those pieces together that we already talk about. And so she was able to come back and say to us, oh my goodness, thank you so much, because it has made such a difference for her.
Yes, wow, that is powerful. So where can people find Phenomenal Women? Where can they sign up? Where can they register? What is going on? Tell us more, a little bit more about what you have going on right now for Phenomenal Women. New year, too.
Yeah. So we're getting ready to start a new mastermind in January. So my previous one ended, and now the new one is starting. I already have 2 ladies in there, so I'm super excited to add more. And it's just my name, paulatobey.com. And then there is a spot at the top for Phenomenal Women Mastermind, and you just click on that, and there's all the information there. I do share it on all of my socials. Instagram is just my name, Paula Tobey. Same with Facebook and all the places.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
I love that. Thank you. We're going to have a QR code at the bottom here to get you right where you need to be. If this sounds like you, if this is something that you're ready to do in the new year, I think that this is the place for you. If you are ready to be a phenomenal woman in 2025, let's see you there.
Well, I want to say thank you for tuning in, but more importantly, in order for you to be that phenomenal woman that you are desiring to be in 2025 is for you to remember how to best thrive in your own personal life and business. And how you do that is community. How you do that is connections. How you do that is friendships. So
I love that. That's what we both stand for. So I really appreciate that. We are wishing you the happiest Christmas, and we'll hope to see you next time.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, y'all.